Breaking down Estacado sports. This is the Matador Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Good Monday evening. I'm Randy Rosetta. This is the High School Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. I think I'll make sure I can hear myself. We are, if I understand correctly, this is next to last week of this season of the Fan Zone. We will go this week and next week and then take a little bit of a break for the summer and come back ready to go in the fall. But there's still some business to take care of on the field, on the track. I'm trying to think if that's it. That's it. I think that's it. The next few weeks with state track this week, UIL state track this week, some more baseball playoffs coming up. One more softball team in the Hub City's playing. Lubbock Christian's in the state semifinals on Friday against Dallas Christian at 6:30 at I'm trying to think of the name of the field. It's at UTA. Little bit of baseball left. We've got 3 public school teams. Trinity Christian is actually just getting ready to start their regional championship series tonight out in Holiday, Texas. I was just talking to one of our guests about that, who's from that neck of the woods. And then later this week, Friendship, Lubbock, Cooper, and Liberty in the UIL regional semifinals will be in action. We'll go through that schedule later tonight. First, we're going to jump into the Matador Fan Zone real quick here and talk to now second-year girls coach Jay January. And I was teasing her, Danali Perez, who you've been doing stuff since you were a freshman. So you've accomplished quite a bit. You still got a year left to go. So going into her senior year, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. I don't want to cheat you out. I don't want to cheat coach out of. Right?
Yeah.
Because she is a volleyball player. She's a basketball player. And was this the first year of softball?
This is second year softball.
Okay. And you made all district in all 3, I believe.
Yes, sir.
There you go. There's not many athletes that can say that.
And you got to add and cheerleading now. She's a cheerleader.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
You had to bring it up.
So you and Addie McNeil are kind of like the two at Estacado that just your parents are running all over the place. Your coaches don't have to worry about where you're at, huh?
Yeah, they know where to find us.
There you go.
Either in one spot or another. So.
I think I saw you were you a cheerleader during basketball season?
No.
No? Okay.
This will be my first year cheer.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's coming from the dad of a former cheerleader who last couple of years she decided she didn't want to. Just 1 year? Maybe it was just 1 year. She was a Lubbock High, whatchamacallit. They ran up and down the sidelines and rang the bell when Lubbock High scored touchdowns, which Lubbock High scored a few more touchdowns this year, so she got to do a little bit. Rough Rider, that's what she was called. Well, Jay, I'm glad that you came in. I told you before we came on because I wanted to get you on here. I don't know if I had you on after your playoff run or not, so we may have to rehash that a little bit. You guys turned some heads,
yes,
which is a good first step. But what I did think about is, and you answered this for me, that is after the fact that you didn't have the job at this point last year, did you?
Correct.
It was about a year ago when things started to change out of that. Well, they changed at Floydada and then at Estacado. So, but you'd coached before. You'd been a girls varsity coach down the road in Burke Burnett. But still, kind of getting ready, going into a summer as a head coach, just all of a sudden, how much more comfortable are you now this year, knowing the girls a little bit better, knowing your situation, and coming off of a 3-round deep playoff run?
Yeah, so we've already started workouts, and at this point last year, we didn't have any workouts, The girls weren't showing up yet. They didn't know who I was, and they were a little intimidated about showing up to workouts because, it's going to be too hard. But now that we've experienced a little success, and I know the girls, they know me, they've been showing up, and we've been getting after it.
Because Danielle, you get used to, and not Coach. Tell me who the previous coach was. Her name just escaped me.
Griffin.
Coach Griffin worked y'all hard. I know that for a fact because I saw a couple of your practices. So it wasn't like you weren't going to be used to working hard, but like Coach said, you get used to a certain way of doing things, and all of a sudden there's a change. How different is it for you as players now going into Coach's second year?
It's a little bit more like we know what he expects from us, so we need to do that. Like being on time, being disciplined, showing up, just being hard workers for him. Because thinking about our season, it's not how we wanted it to end. So coming up, we need to get a little bit deeper. Get our, I don't know how to explain it. Just going into our season with no regrets.
You say you didn't go. It didn't end the way you wanted, but you guys got to the third round, correct?
Yes.
I don't know that anybody outside of your huddles and your locker room maybe thought that would happen. You beat Brownwood in the first round, came back and beat who in the second round?
Burnett.
Oh, that had to be kind of interesting for coach.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
And then came back in the third round. I think you ran into
Canyon.
That's what I thought. I don't know if they gave you much history. That's not the first time that's happened for Estacado.
Well, I played with Tate in college,
Okay.
so I know Tate, and I know Coach Lombard. I've known him since I was in college, and I knew it was going to be a tough game, and we just tried to prepare the best we could and go out there and perform.
It had been a few years, but I think that's maybe the fourth time in the last 10 years or so that Estacado's had a really good season and met Canyon in that particular round. To me, that's a good sign for your girls, too. And did you play Canyon during the regular season?
We did not.
So now they know. They know exactly what it's going to take. And Canyons, Liberty, Canyon, Levelland all play that a little bit different style than you guys like to play.
Yeah.
You have to see it to know what it's going to be like. The other thing, you mentioned that you've played with Tate, but you also look down at the other end of the bench, and there's the guy who the gym is named after.
Yes.
That's if I'm a coach, that's intimidating to be a little bit. And he's still kind of the godfather of girls basketball out here in West Texas. So last summer, how many of your girls were playing organized ball with, I don't know, how many of them did, or what is your goal for them this summer?
So if I'm not mistaken, I believe maybe one or two played last summer. But this year it's different. They're all playing. As far as playing together, we're going to some team camps. We're doing training, and then they're all playing their AAU. A couple of them playing SSB, 3 SSB. So I mean, it's going good. The girls are playing ball, and that's the best way to get better is to continue to keep playing ball.
So Danali, what do you do during the summer? Because you got to choose, right?
Yeah. So mainly I stick to basketball.
Okay.
I mean, other sports I'll go to, but strictly I'm just basketball in the summer.
Who do you play for?
I play for 55 Buckets, but I'm gonna guest play for West Texas fan.
Okay.
Yeah, West Texas fan. But yeah, I just show up to workouts, encourage a lot more other girls to go, and like team camps coming up and the tournaments that we have coming up. So just revolve around basketball.
Because it's not just muscle memory; it's that competition and finding different things that you're going to be better at. And Jay, you can kick me under the table if you want. I think it's also good if you've got a girl who is a star for you. I think it doesn't hurt them to go see what it takes to be a role player on a team. So we're coming up on the first break. We'll come back and talk more Lady Matador basketball in the high school fan zone on 100.7 The Score.
Breaking down Estacado sports. This is the Matador Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back in. This is the high school fan zone. I was just looking back at just how stacked and deep District 4A was in girls basketball. Liberty, Memorial, Estacado, and Levelland. Did Levelland win in the playoffs? They get bounced.
They lost.
Lost it. I'm going to take a shot in the dark. Did they lose to Brock?
I believe it was Brock.
I ran into their radio guy the other day. He was like, "We're tired of playing Brock and everything." And sometimes you have to beat them at some point. So, but everybody else, I think Memorial went 2 rounds. Memorial, they
lost to the state
they
champs.
turned some heads too, and then had to play Decatur. And it's a guy I assume you know a little bit.
Sure.
Yep. Who's now up the road at Midwestern State.
Yes.
So. Actually, I knew him when he was in high school. It goes back to way back. I saw him play in high school. And then he came here and played at Texas. Drew Kaufman, who we're talking about. And then Liberty, of course, went on and they lost to Brock later on in the regional championship.
Yep.
You'd been at the Estacado for that year, so you had seen the girls play. You hadn't coached them yet. When you got into that district, did it take you by surprise how tough that district was?
It did. I wasn't expecting it to be, every game was going to be a dogfight, and how intense and, how well coached those teams are, and it kind of took us by surprise that first round, but all we had to do is just keep fighting, keep playing, and try to answer to the charge.
So I don't want to get you in trouble here, Danielle, but was Coach asking you guys questions about like getting into? You knew what the district was going to be like because and so you go now from Coach not being familiar with it. Now you guys are kind of on that same page. How different is that going to be this year?
It's going to be, we know what to expect, so we know what to work on. So we can work on our weaknesses and fix it from there. So We'll be really good this year.
So when we go back to the playoffs, you beat Brownwood in that first round. And like I said, I don't know if anybody around the state, I had a couple people say, well, that's like the biggest upset in the first round. What do you mean? You couldn't let it soak in right away because you had to get ready for another game. But Jay, when you look back, what did your girls do so well that night?
Defense. We scouted them very, very well, and we prepared. We worked on everything that they did, and a lot of the messages and phone calls I got was, after the game was talking about how good of a defensive game we played, and we actually hit some shots. D hit a couple big threes for us, got us started, but the defense is what really turned it up, and got us the win.
And I remember talking to, I think I was either at Memorial's game or Liberty's game that night, and those coaches were excited for you.
Oh, yeah.
That's the coaching, kind of the brotherhood, I don't know what you call it, brotherhood and sisterhood. You can tell a secret here. Did you pick their brains a little bit? Because I know Liberty had played them.
Yes. And so, Coach, Liberty coach Morgan, she's really good, and she kind of, gave us some pointers on, some girls on their team that were studs, and how they played them a little bit, and we kind of watched their film and see how they played, and we just took it, we took our strengths and, what Liberty did, and we made it our own game plan.
Danielle, he answered it in coach's answer. Tell me as a player, what did you guys do well that night?
Well, before that we were studying them, like even on our own time in class, even though it's a little bad, but we were studying them.
I won't tell him.
Yeah. We were, like, our practices, we knew what was coming up for them being ranked number 8, like, we wanted to prove everybody wrong. I feel like that's how it is. But like you said, our defense, like, we wanted it a little bit more than they did, and it showed.
That's the good news now for both of you. Now the bad news is you're not going to be able to – they're going to know who you are from now on. How do you adjust now? How do you get these girls to understand that, okay, now you're going to have a little bit of that target on your back? First of all, you got to still play in that same district with Liberty and Levelland and now Plainview. You get outside, you get to the playoffs. Now teams are going to know who Estacado is a little bit.
So just continue to take each game and continue to keep playing our best, improve our skills, improve our teamwork, and improve our work, our preparation, and just keep playing hard.
And that's a lot better thing to go into a season with than nobody knowing who you are, to me, because that means you didn't accomplish anything.
Right.
So when does summer officially begin for your girls?
So first week we'll go to Texas Tech team camp. We'll go to Texas Tech team camp. We'll play in the Memorial Summer League, and then we'll go to Texas Championships in Dallas Fort Worth, and then we'll finish with another team camp here in Lubbock.
LCU or?
We're going to go to Lubbock High.
Okay.
Lubbock High's going to be one.
And you called it Memorial Summer League. That just hit me that I had to think differently because it's been the Friendship Summer League for so long. So you'll get to see, and I know it, Wag was on last week, and his guys don't play in that the varsity guys because he takes them to wants them to get to a different level. But that's a chance for your girls to see some of the teams they're going to have to get used to seeing. So Estacado girls finished 19-13, went 3 rounds. Great season under Jay January in year 1. We'll have him on early next season. When we come back after this break, we'll be in the Plainsman Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.